Okay, so when we get infinite solutions, what we need to do is make the y arbitrary. So we're going to write solution set with an arbitrary y, just like we did in lesson 5.1. So that means we solve one equation for x, and so what we're going to have here is this right here. And then I'll have 1 minus, I'll have x, and then 1 minus 2x over 4 for my ordered pair. Okay, so watch for those in your homework. There will be some with no solution. There might be some with infinite solutions. And when there's infinite solutions, we're going to make a solution set with an arbitrary y, which means you solve one equation for x. The last thing we're going to look at is what to do when you have a 3 by 3 or a system of 3 equations and 3 unknowns. This is the biggest kind of problem you're going to see. And the first thing we're going to do is move all of these constants to the other side. Okay, so 2x minus 4y plus z is 19. 4x, 6y, I'm just making sure I've got all my signs right. I don't want to have a sign mistake right off the bat. Okay, basically what you're going to have is, and I need to leave myself a whole bunch of space for this, so x is going to be dx over d. And I know y will be dy over d, and z is going to be dz over d. Let me go ahead and find d first. Since I'm going to use it 3 times, I need to go ahead and find it. So determinant d, it's going to be all of my coefficients. So 2, 4, 1, negative 4, 6, 1, 1, negative 1, 2. And what I'm going to do is do what I did yesterday and expand that. I'm going to copy down my first 2 columns. And then I'm going to start with this product, and 24 plus 4 plus 4, and that's what, 32? Get rid of this real quick. Okay. And then I'm going to come this way. 6 plus negative 2 plus negative 32. That equals negative 28. So I have 32 minus negative 28, and that's 60. So I'm going to hang on to that. Now I'm going to set up dx. And I know it's going to be divided by 60. When I set up dy, I'll have it over d, and I know it's going to be over 60. And then I need to set up z, and I know it's also over 60. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do next. If I'm finding x, 19, negative 15, and 11 go in the first column. If I'm finding y, they go in the second column. If I'm finding z, they go in the third column. Okay? And then from there, I just copy up the other 2 columns. So for this next one, it's negative 4 and 1, 6 and negative 1, 1 and 2. For the second one, it's going to be a 2, 4, and a 1, a negative 1, and a 2. And for this last one, it's going to be 2, 4, and 1, -4, 6, and 1. Okay, I'm going to glance at my key real quick and make sure I don't have any sign mistakes before I get started. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take each one and expand it. Okay, so 19 times 6 times 2, 228. 4 times 11, 44, plus a -15. And that's 257. Coming up this way, 66 plus -19 plus 120. That's going to be 167. 257 minus 167 is 90. Okay, so from there, oops, I've got, you know what, I'm going to erase all this extra work from the previous part so it's not in my way. All right, so if I'm finding x, dx is 90, d is 60, and I divide there and I get 3/2. So there's my x. Okay, now we're going to go and find y. So I'm going to copy the matrix. Let's see what we can do here. So -60 plus -19 plus 44. That's -35. Come this way. That's 115. -35 minus 115 is -150. Erase some more of this stuff. Okay. So y is -150 over 60.
Yes.
And that is going to be -5/2. I can divide those by 30. And then we have our last one.
Yes.
Okay, here we go. Let's do black. 66 times 2, 132, plus 60, plus, let's see, what is that, 76, and that is 268. Let's come up the other way. 6 times 19 is 144, plus -30, plus -176, and that's -92. Oh, and I have a copying mistake here. Hang on just a second and I'll fix it. It's not 144, I think it's 114. Okay, let me just make sure that work is correct now. Okay. 268 minus a -92 is 360. So our z will be 360 over 60, which is 6. So if I take these three answers and write them as an ordered triple, I'll have my solution set. Okay, these are going to take a lot of work. I didn't assign very many of them in your homework. Give them a shot. If you get stuck, send me an email. Let me see a screenshot of your work so that I can help you figure out where your mistake might be. If you have to do these on a test or a quiz, it would typically be something like, here's your set of 3 equations, find one of them. So find y. So if you had to find y, you would set up dy and d, and then you would have two determinants that you would have to find and divide. With these problems, they're not going to ask you to find x and y and z on a test or a quiz. That would make the problem way too long.